watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to GHS-TV award-winning talk show Crosstalk. I'm your host, Shiloh Sanders. Each week we discuss topics important to our diverse community. As we enter the holiday season of giving, we want to reflect on 3 philanthropic organizations in Memphis that are celebrating major milestones this year. Maybe hearing their stories will motivate you to give. For 100 years, Goodwill Memphis has provided opportunities to those who face difficult obstacles in their lives. Their mission is to change the lives of people with disabilities and other barriers to employment through the power of work, education, and empowerment. Joining me today is Stephanie Luke, Community Engagement Manager, and Heather Fry, Learning and Development Manager for Goodwill Memphis. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Oh, absolutely.
So I know you guys just hit a big milestone, and I'm pretty sure you guys are celebrating all year. Can you tell us what you're doing?
Yeah, so we had our 100th anniversary for Memphis Goodwill. So initially, Goodwill was established in 1902 by Reverend Edgar J. Helms, who is a Methodist minister. Initially, what he would do is go out to wealthier neighborhoods and collect their gently used items or broken furniture, something like that, and then come out to the more underprivileged parts of the community and teach the people who had disabilities or other barriers to employment how to mend or fix those items. So in 1923, Memphis Goodwill was established. So back over the summer, we celebrated our 100th anniversary. So we were happy birthday, Goodwill. So we were able to run a few amazing deals. We reopened one of our store locations. And we had a lot of amazing people in the community come out and join us for that as well.
And so we've been working with the community to not only engage them in things that we're doing at Goodwill. You know, we have not only our donation centers, our stores, but also our Excel Center. And, you know, we're growing and the business is growing to, you know, throughout the locations that we have. We serve 24 counties in Memphis and the Mid-South.
So, Ms. Heather, you mentioned your founder, and you told us something about him.
Yeah.
One of his sayings was not charity, but a chance. Mm-hmm. Do you feel the goal of Goodwill has stayed and has the same mission?
I do. We have another phrase that gets bandied about the office a lot is not a hand up, or excuse me, not a hand out, but a hand up. We believe that when you empower people to be able to make their own decisions, be it financially or through education, that it definitely helps people feel more autonomous and able to take control of their lives rather than having somebody kind of waving that above their head, oh, well, we helped you do this, or we're doing this for you. We're trying to empower people to be able to make those decisions on themselves, and just a lot of people just need the opportunity to do so.
So are there any statistics or number you can give us on the impact that Goodwill has had over Memphis for the past 100 years?
The one that comes to mind off the top of mind is the Excel Center. It's our adult high school. It is free to any adult over the age of 18 who does not have their high school diploma. So it's an accelerated program that's very tailored to the individual, but I believe it is over 85% of the graduates that come through there either go on to go to college, or they increase their yearly wage by about $20,000. And that's the statistic that comes top of mind for me. It's also a big issue inside the communities that I've lived in myself, where for whatever reason that education wasn't possible for them at that time, but now that they're able to get through, they are able to really improve their lives and improve themselves.
We also employ over 650 employees at all of our stores. We have 29 donation centers, we have 12 stores, and then we also have received over 600,000 donations and saved 13 million pounds from the landfill. So that has really impacted our community in terms of who we employ and how we're helping the community, and keeping all of that from landfills helps a lot.
So what is the job application process if someone wants to work at Goodwill, and there are certain requirements that they have to meet?
So for anyone that wants to work at Goodwill, you can go on our website at memphisgoodwill.org under jobs and under job opportunities. They can apply today. For a high school student, you just have to be minimum of 16 years of age to work in one of our stores, and you can go in and apply. For our donation centers, it may vary, but because our stores are going to be, our donation centers are from 9 to 6 generally, but, some of our stores are changing hours, so, it could be whatever the availability of the person that goes in and applies.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the Excel Center and how did it come about?
Well, it was started about 10 years ago, and I believe for the Excel Center, they have multiple, Goodwill is a huge corporation across worldwide. So when they decided to create the Excel Center, it was something that they thought would be a good step for Memphis in general.
I believe the Excel Center was established in 2015. So the enrollment process is very similar to how you would apply to any school. But they will set you up with a job coach, essentially half guidance counselor, half professional development. And say you and I were sitting down, and Ms. Shiloh, you told me, hey, in 5 years I want to graduate from college. I want to be able to buy a house. That's my big plan for myself for 5 years. So the job coach will sit with you and go, all right, here is how that would come out. So next step A, step B, step C, et cetera, and so on, until we can get you to the point where you do meet your major goal of graduating from college, buying that house. All of the certifications that we offer, CDL, cosmetology, the list goes on. I think we offer something like 15 to 18 different certifications at the moment. We also offer free childcare should someone need that, and we also give bus passes to anyone who has issues with transportation. So kind of just answer as many questions as we can and cover all of the bases possible in order to be sure that we can reach out and help the community as much as we can. We also have plans to open 2 more Excel centers in the Memphis area over the next couple years to be able to address, I think it was somewhere over 100,000 adults in the Memphis metro area don't have high school diplomas. And as we know, in a lot of jobs, that is a bare minimum basic requirement. And so that's just another barrier to employment that we would like to address and be able to help people get over those obstacles so they can just be who they want to be, do what they want to do, and reach their goals.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us and giving us all this wonderful information.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
To learn more about Goodwill of Memphis, visit their website at goodwillmemphis.org. Up next, we'll learn about a charity that tackles poverty head on and aims to improve the quality life of Mid-Southerners.
So my belief is that band is the life of the school. If the band's not fun, the school's not fun.
Two, breathe, and.
Germantown High School Band is unique because we do marching, we do concert. Our director, Jeremy Thompson, brings an energy to this band that's very unique from all the other schools in Memphis.
We offer several special groups. We have 2 percussion classes that are very unique. They operate outside the general band program. They do their totally own thing. We also have a jazz band that functions on its own. The great thing about the jazz band program is that it's mostly student-led.
Jazz music teaches you how to move with agility and precision, while classical music teaches you how to play with feeling an emotion.
We have 2 concert band classes. We have the Varsity Winds, that's our highest performance ensemble, that's audition, and that's where our Kappa students reside in that higher ensemble. We have an intermediate band class as well.
Marching band has probably been the most enjoyable experience for me.
We had such a fun time at the football games, getting to play our music and share our music.
We try to get out there and make sure that the team is happy, the coaches are happy, and that for the most part, the student body is happy.
I enjoyed band a lot. I loved being in the class.
Play D with that fingering.
It's very energetic, it's very intense, and I feel like that fits our atmosphere and our community in the band.
One major thing we push in band is just being a better person, being able to see something through to the end, cooperation, problem solving, all those lifelong skills you need as a young adult and into your future adulthood.
If you're ever hesitant about learning an instrument or think it's really hard to do, yes, it is, but don't be as scared. In this program, you will learn how to play that instrument and you will learn how to develop into a better person. And I think that the band program will be great for you to join.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. The national average for people living in poverty is 12.3%. Here in the Mid-South, that number jumps to 16.9%, according to the 2020 update of the Memphis Poverty Fact Sheet. It's a stark number, but United Way of the Mid-South is working to bring that number down, and has been doing that for 100 years. Their mission is to improve the quality of life for Mid-Southerners by mobilizing and aligning community resources to address priority issues. Joining me to explain how they are accomplishing this goal is Dr. Kenneth Robertson, President and CEO. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Robertson.
Thank you, Shiloh, for having me. Appreciate it.
So I guess my first question is about your overall mission to address, quote, priority issues in Memphis. What are some of them?
Well, of course, there are issues that people in Memphis have. There are almost 200,000 people in Memphis living in poverty. And when people are living in poverty, they've got a lot of issues, don't they?
Yes, sir.
They have issues with housing and health care, child care for their children. They may need employment. And so what we recognize is that for people that have been in multi-generational poverty, stuck in poverty, they have more than one issue at a time. They can address the acute concern of the day, but then they have a multitude of other concerns that they're facing. And so the United Way has been really focused on not only mobilizing resources. That's how we started 100 years ago. Several businessmen came together and said it's easier for nonprofits if we all gather together and raise funds for high-performing nonprofits. And over the 100 years we've done that. We've raised about $850 million for nonprofits. But what is difficult is that when someone is in poverty, walking into the door of one agency, one program, one service is not enough. It might meet their needs for the day, but it's the intersection, it's the multiplicity of challenges and problems. And any single person might have multiple problems that can be addressed. And that's what's exciting about today's United Way.
So as you mentioned, poverty is a vicious cycle and it continues. Why do you think it's hard to get out?
Well, it's hard to get out because people get stuck. That's a word that I use. They get stuck. They get stuck in environments in which it's very difficult for people to find their way out. Their parents were there, their grandparents were there in communities that have also been disinvested often in terms of the institutions. They get stuck because they're not receiving the kind of high quality education that you're receiving, which is preparing them for the future. And they get stuck because they're not in meaningful employment where they are living in a situation that they can really make a living. And they're not being prepared for education and employment of the future. So people do get stuck. And the other issue is that they've really just not been able to access all of the supports and all of the services that they need. And today's United Way, particularly Driving the Dream at United Way, has a marvelous history of now being able to pull together 130 agencies providing over 270 services. So not only have we mobilized resources, but we're aligning resources so that people can get unstuck. They can move out of crisis towards self-sufficiency, and we have the data to prove it.
So this year you launched Driving the Dream,
Yes.
which is billed as a 2-generation strategy
Yes.
to address the priority issues that you spoke about a few seconds ago. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, we're really excited about it because really for young people living in homes, they do better when everyone in the house is doing better. So the 2-generation strategy says that we address the issues of the adults, the parents, whomever are the caregivers in that house, but we also address the issues of the young people. And when we are doing that in an aggregate, collaborative, coordinated sort of way, everybody in the family advances. So a woman who's escaping domestic violence has issues not only for herself, her own safety and security, but also for the children in that home. Young people such as yourself get better and do better academically when the socioeconomic status of the family is better. And so Driving the Dream now connects all of those agencies and services with a one-door approach. You can walk into one door of one of our partner agencies and get excellent service. But Shiloh, then they get asked the question, what else do you need? And we can seamlessly connect them to other support services that fill the gaps and help them move from where they are to where they dream to be.
Oh, that's really great. So how can families sign up for Driving the Dream?
I'm glad you asked. There is a marvelous toll-free call center number. Since COVID, we've taken 13,000 calls. It's 1-844-444-4211. 844-444-4211. Anyone can call and we can connect them to the vast array, this system, this network of services called Driving the Dream. We're not just hoping that they have their dreams come true. We're not just wishing, but at United Way of the Mid-South, we are driving their dreams.
So one last question.
Yes.
How can someone sign up if they want to volunteer?
Oh, they can absolutely find us on our website, www.uwmidsouth.org. uwmidsouth.org. You can see I know where we are, and so sometimes I stumble on that website, www.uwmidsouth.org. There will be a button there saying volunteer.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, one last question, actually. How has United Way impacted your life since you've worked there?
Oh, it's been a major impact on my own life. I'm a minister and a physician by training, and really my interest has always been improving the quality of life of individuals, my patients, as a minister, individuals, families, children, communities. And United Way brings all of that together because we are holistically addressing the issues in families, communities, and certainly people that have been stuck in generational poverty. It's my life, it's my ministry.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Robinson. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you, Shiloh.
To learn more about United Way of Mid-South, visit their website at uwmidsouth.org. We have to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll highlight a charity that has been fighting food insecurity for 40 years.
Cut to one and cue talent.
The GHS Fine Arts Department is composed of 6 different disciplines, including instrumental music, which is both band and the strings or orchestra.
My belief is that band is the life of the school. If the band's not fun, the school's not fun.
There's choral music with a variety of different levels for our students, from women's choir, an a cappella group.
So choir is an excellent opportunity for you to engage in the music making process and to create relationships and bonds with your fellow classmates.
We have our theater program, which includes acting and tech theater.
It'll teach you how to be a better communicator, it'll teach you how to work with people better, and it'll teach you how to get outside your comfort zone.
We have GHS-TV and the intro classes that go into GHS-TV.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome to GHS Insider, the show that's all about the G.
So GHS-TV tries to model a real working station. And we have a visual arts program that goes up into AP courses and also includes IB level.
I think the arts are really important because they provide students with that safe space where they can express themselves, they can be who they really want to be.
The specificity of what is taught and required to be learned here in this department is so particular that they're going away with abilities and skills that other schools aren't teaching.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm Shiloh Sanders. For 40 years, the Mid-South Food Bank has supplied food for food insecure individuals and families to provide a healthy and nutritious life. Their mission is to change lives by eliminating hunger in the Mid-South. Kathy Pope, President and CEO, joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to first commend you guys and your organizations for 40 years of hard work in the Mid-South.
Thank you.
So what are some of the continued challenges that you face?
Right now, the continuing challenge is finding enough food to feed our community. Because of the effects of COVID and people being out of work and now high inflation, we are still seeing high numbers of people who need food. So we're working constantly every day to find that nutritious food to feed our neighbors.
So can you give us an estimated number of families and communities that you serve?
Well, we serve all of the Mid-South, so we're serving 31 counties. We have 12 in West Tennessee, Shelby being our largest, of course. We serve Crittenton, Arkansas, across the river, and then 18 in North Mississippi, where we have another warehouse in Panola County. So we feed over 400,000 hungry neighbors a year.
Wow. So we know that you serve food to different communities, but how do you make sure that the food is inclusive for all of those people that have different food restrictions or allergies and things of that?
Well, we're very, very careful to make sure that we note if we have something in a box, is it culturally appropriate for whatever nationality it is. We're really working hard to increase the flexibility of the food that we serve. We serve a lot of fresh produce, so that's kind of out in the open, but we're very aware of allergies if it has peanut or they can't eat pork. So we do stay on top of what we're serving, and we make sure that everything is safe and the most nutritious that we can serve.
So you have a variety of food programs for different groups of people, and I like to go through some of them, starting off with the children. Can you tell us about some of your programs?
Yeah, we're really happy with how we really know our community of children here. We know where our high poverty schools are, so we're really targeting those for school pantries, because we know if a child is hungry and we're serving that child, then that child is probably going home to a household that is also food insecure. So we're really focusing on school pantries in our neighborhood schools. We do backpack program, of course, that's been around forever, and everyone loves to make sure that our children are fed on the weekends because they're so used to the school meals, yes, but nights and weekends is when they might need some supplemental help. We also run some hot kitchens with our Boys and Girls Clubs here. So when they come for their, when the children come for their enrichment programs, we're serving them a hot meal as well.
So seniors are the fastest growing group of food insecure individuals. How do you help those in need?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, because we have just rolled out a senior food box program. We visited with and had focus groups with our high-rise, low-income senior housing here in Memphis is where we started. We picked the top 5. And we did interviews and tried to figure out what food do you not have access to that you need, what would you like to see in a food box. So we are working with now more than 5 of these communities to get specific food that's nutritious for our seniors. For example, they may not have an oven in their apartment. They may only have a stovetop, and their refrigerator might be a little bit small. So we're very, very aware of what they need to prepare their meals, and have really worked hard to get them the items that they need. For example, maybe a butternut squash is not going to work for them. Just being able, I have a hard time cutting one, so I know they do. So we've really made a point to reach our client where they are. What is it that you need, and what can we help you with? So we're really happy with that program.
So of course, families are your biggest group that you serve, and you have many options for them as well.
Yes, our main focus on serving our families is the brick and mortar partner agencies that we have. We work with over 300 in the Mid-South, in the 31 counties that we serve. So our job as a food bank is to ensure that our partner agencies have the food they need to feed the families that they're serving in their local community. They may be serving, maybe a small community, maybe they're serving 50 families a month, maybe they're serving 800 a month. So we work with them to ensure they have that food that they need to serve their clients. But then really our workhorse through the pandemic were our mobile distributions. We are able to load the truck up with food, get it out to a community that may not have access to either a brick and mortar or a grocery store, because we're really focusing on our food deserts here in the Mid-South. So we start the distribution, let's say at 9 in the morning, and by 1 o'clock we're done, and nobody needs to house that food. And it's really made it a great way to get food out to our communities very quickly.
So you mentioned the mobile pantry. How can a company sign up to help?
Well, on our website, there's lots of information. I think we make it easy. At midsouthfoodbank.org, you can sign up to volunteer. You can sign up. If you need access to food, we want you to know how to do that. So you can click Mobile Pantry, and we advertise where those are for the next 7 days. You can also click Find Food, so you can put in your zip code and you'll find food in your neighborhood, or as close as we can get. And if you want to help and you want to sponsor a mobile pantry, for example, then you can also find that information on our website. And it is a great way for your company to help get food out, but then you can also volunteer, because we need a lot of volunteers to make this program work.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
To learn more about Mid-South Food Bank, visit their website, midsouthfoodbank.org. I want to wish all the organizations a happy birthday. And thank you to our guests for their open and honest conversations about poverty in the Mid-South. Hopefully your eyes were opened, and so was your hearts. For more information on our program, please check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we are live streaming 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Shiloh Sanders, and from all of us here at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.